Nigate Tale is a roguelike dungeon crawler featuring vibrant 2D anime art. Players take on the role of Roy, a young engineer who crash lands in an enchanted castle after being sucked into a mysterious cloud. The castle, filled with monsters and traps, constantly shifts its layout, forcing players to adapt with each new run. Roy must gather materials, craft gear, and level up to acquire new combat skills. Along the way, he can befriend magical monster girls who grant special powers. Fast-paced combat and a variety of weapons and magic allow for different playstyles in every playthrough. Let's now delve into the reviews. Common feedback points to Nigate Tale focus on its fun gameplay loop and decent combat, but also highlights several significant drawbacks. While the game has a solid foundation, with tight combat and visually appealing anime-style characters, it struggles with poor translation, incomplete content, and repetitive environments. Many players draw comparisons to Hades, although this game is seen as a less polished alternative. The lack of translated elements, unfinished achievements, and occasional bugs detract from the experience. Despite regular patches and a passionate developer, the overall game lacks the refinement found in other action roguelikes at similar price point. Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed is a vibrant 3D platformer that immerses players in a magical journey through Wasteland, a world of forgotten Disney characters. Armed with a magic brush, players control Mickey Mouse, using paint to restore and thinner to alter the environment, shaping the world and the narrative through their choices. The game features classic characters like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and blends nostalgic Disney elements with modern gameplay mechanics, including new abilities like dashing and ground pounding. With its rich storyline, enhanced visuals, and multiple possible endings, Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed offers a captivating experience for both longtime fans and newcomers. Let's take a closer look at our next review. Common feedback points to Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed highlight the game's nostalgic value and faithful remastering, capturing the magic of the original with modernized visuals and controls. Fans are thrilled with the return of a childhood classic, praising the updated graphics, smooth performance, and overall optimization. The game's puzzles, platforming, and light combat provide a fun, engaging experience. However, some users have reported technical issues, particularly crashes during key transitions and lengthy load times. Despite these setbacks, many consider this remaster the definitive version, while hoping for future updates to fix the bugs. The game Echo Point Nova is a vast open-world FPS designed for both solo and 4-player cooperative play. Players take on the role of an explorer with advanced combat abilities, crash landing on a mysterious planet controlled by mercenaries wielding powerful, ancient technology. The main quest focuses on dismantling their operations, but players are free to explore the world at their own pace, with the help of a grapple hook, hoverboard, and unlockable powers. Battles feature colossal bosses and a variety of enemy types like pyromancers and sappers. Cooperative play is seamlessly integrated, allowing friends to join without mandatory tutorials, and the game offers extensive customization for difficulty settings. Hidden weapons, upgrades, and cosmetics are scattered throughout the world, encouraging exploration and progression. The developers, known for Severed Steel, plan ongoing updates and community engagement to enhance the game post-launch. And now we come to the reviews. As observed by multiple reviewers, this game delivers fast-paced, addictive gameplay with a strong emphasis on fluid movement and precision controls. It offers a refined experience compared to its predecessor, Severed Steel, with bigger environments and polished mechanics. The seamless co-op mode, even across continents, has been praised despite occasional latency. The game's dynamic mix of elements like grappling hooks, hoverboards, and fast weapon swapping creates a unique experience reminiscent of Titanfall 2 with a creative twist. Players describe it as exhilarating, with impressive visuals and a feeling of pure fun. GreedFall Satan. The Dying World is a role-playing game set in a crumbling world filled with political intrigue, magic, and exploration. Players assume the role of a protagonist caught in a conflict between factions fighting for power, resources, and survival in a dying land. The game blends open-world exploration with deep character development, allowing for choices that shape the story and relationships with NPCs. Combat involves a mix of strategic planning and real-time action, with a focus on mastering unique abilities and tactical decision-making. The narrative-driven gameplay emphasizes moral dilemmas and complex story arcs that evolve based on the player's decisions. Let's take a closer look at our next review. Reviewers are of the opinion that GreedFall 2 has the potential to be a strong successor, particularly due to its captivating storyline, quests, and character development. However, the combat system has received significant criticism, moving away from the dynamic parries and dodges of the first game to a more passive auto-attack system, which has been described as tedious. While the game shines in many aspects, such as its musical score and narrative depth, the combat feels lackluster and repetitive. Early access performance issues are present but expected, and the character creator offers fewer customization options compared to its predecessor. Despite these challenges, there is hope for improvements as the game continues to evolve in early access. Many players are withholding final judgment until more updates are released, with the combat being the main concern that could either make or break the overall experience. Ara History Untold is a grand strategy game where players build a nation and lead it through various stages of history. Players can explore new lands, develop arts and culture, engage in diplomacy, and compete with rivals. It features a dynamic crafting economy, non-linear technology trees, and simultaneous turn resolution, creating unpredictable outcomes. The game allows players to guide their nation through 12 technology eras, focusing on both national prosperity and military strength. Multiplayer is supported with cloud-backed systems for both synchronous and asynchronous play. Choices define the world, offering limitless possibilities. Let's take a closer look at our next review. Reviewers are of the opinion that Ara History Untold has potential, but its current state is divisive. Some praise the game for its complex systems, strategic depth, and engaging gameplay that keeps players coming back for one more turn. The tutorial is beginner-friendly, and performance can be improved by adjusting settings, although the game struggles with optimization for many users. While the graphics are impressive, some feel that the UI is cluttered and diplomacy mechanics are underdeveloped. Others highlight the extensive micromanagement and lack of polish, with bugs and system feedback issues causing frustration. Comparisons to Civilization are inevitable, with some finding Ara a refreshing alternative, while others see it as unfinished, lacking refinement. Several have opted for refunds due to poor performance or disappointment with gameplay mechanics, though there's optimism for future updates and patches. Halls of Torment is a horde survival game featuring a nostalgic, pre-rendered art style reminiscent of late 90s RPGs. Players select from a variety of hero characters and venture into the treacherous halls, battling waves of unholy horrors and ultimately confronting formidable tormented lords. Each run offers opportunities to enhance heroes with unique traits, abilities, and items, allowing for the creation of powerful builds. The game includes quick 30-minute sessions, a quest-based meta progression, and exploration of multiple underground worlds, each filled with diverse enemies and unique mechanics. Players can collect over 60 items, craft magical tinctures, and unlock various abilities to customize their experience. With 11 playable characters, numerous bosses, and an extensive array of traits and quests, Halls of Torment provides an engaging blend of strategy and action, encouraging players to test their skills in a relentless, ever-evolving challenge. And now we come to the reviews. As observed by multiple reviewers, Halls of Torment emerges as an engaging blend of styles reminiscent of classic titles like Diablo and contemporary hits such as Vampire Survivors. This early access game has garnered praise for its compelling gameplay at an unbeatable price, with players describing it as one of the best investments they've made. The title is characterized as a reverse bullet hell where players navigate hordes of enemies with a nostalgic, pixelated aesthetic. The controls are versatile, accommodating mouse-only, keyboard-mouse combinations, or gamepad setups, providing a seamless experience. As sessions progress, the game becomes increasingly enjoyable, reminiscent of the thrill found in Nephilim portal runs from Diablo 3. With a variety of classes, builds, and loot, Halls of Torment promises hours of engaging gameplay that feels both fresh and familiar. Overall, it is positioned as a delightful tribute to the dungeon crawling genre, inviting players to dive into its chaotic charm. Kepler 2100 is a space fantasy strategy wargame designed for casual play, distinguishing itself from classic strategy titles. It emphasizes player versus environment (PvE) gameplay rather than player versus player (PvP), with non-consensual PvP disabled in the commander's home base, allowing players to log off without concern. Commanders can construct 4 ship types: frigates for defense, destroyers for offense, cruisers for mobility, and engineering corvettes for repairs. Each ship can be customized with hundreds of ability modules, enhancing fleet effectiveness. Players can expand their sphere of influence by controlling mining nodes for resources and form galactic alliances for cooperative growth. Unique in-game events such as point capture battles and defense wars against space pirates provide diverse gameplay experiences. For those interested in gift codes, contacting customer service is recommended, using the code TMKPLONE100 and KPLONE123 for additional rewards. And now we come to the reviews. As observed by multiple reviewers, Kepler 2100 presents a mixed bag of experiences in its early access phase. The game invites players into a space fantasy where they command a fleet in exploration and combat, emphasizing PvE gameplay with cooperative mining and exploration elements. However, the title is criticized for its pay-to-win mechanics, suggesting that meaningful progression can be excessively delayed without monetary investment. While the variety of ship types and customization options, including ship ability modules, offer strategic depth, many feel the overall gameplay is hindered by blandness and a lack of compelling narrative. Allegations of asset theft from a popular mod further mar its reputation, leading to skepticism about the game's originality. Ultimately, while Kepler 2100 offers engaging multiplayer aspects, the presence of monetization hurdles and creative shortcomings leaves players divided about its long-term appeal. The Forever Winter is a post-apocalyptic survival game set in a world ravaged by 40 years of industrial-scale violence between two superpowers. Players assume the role of a small vulnerable character navigating a battlefield dominated by gargantuan war machines and towering enemies. The game features a dynamic encounter system where foes have their own goals and operate in coordinated groups, engaging in battles that evolve based on player action. Survival hinges on a combination of stealth, clever tactics, and skilled gunplay. As players scavenge for resources, they can disrupt the warring factions, drawing their attention and escalating the threat. The narrative underscores a grim vision of humanity's future, marked by ecological collapse and the dark consequences of technological advancement, leaving players caught in a conflict where they are neither ally nor enemy, but merely trying to survive. Let's now delve into the reviews. As observed by multiple reviewers, the game presents an intriguing blend of potential and pitfalls typical of early access titles. While it features a visually appealing art style and chaotic combat, the core gameplay mechanics, particularly the extraction shooter elements, are marred by a frustrating resource management system. Specifically, the water mechanic, which depletes even when players are not actively engaged, can lead to significant penalties, such as losing all collected items if the water supply runs out. This aspect has drawn considerable criticism, with many deeming it an unnecessary burden that could deter casual players. Despite its technical issues and janky AI, the game shows promise, but the developers must address the water mechanic to maintain long-term player engagement. Feedback is vital as the game evolves, and those drawn to it should weigh their commitment against the game's demands for constant attention and resource management. In this exciting game, Aura of Worlds, players must navigate through creatively designed roguelite platforming challenges across various worlds. Each environment requires players to utilize their skills and abilities to overcome unique obstacles, including floods, toxic pollen, and formidable bosses that dominate their mazes. Strategies can vary widely, from defensive tactics using a spear and energy shield to aggressive approaches with boomerangs and grapple hooks. Players can explore different solutions to challenges, whether it's grappling over lava pits or using grenades to clear paths. With over 100 unique enemies, randomized levels, and a multitude of creative abilities, each run offers fresh experiences. The game combines handcrafted pixel art with a dynamic soundtrack, encouraging experimentation and tactical thinking, while allowing for character customization and permanent progression. Despite its completion, Aura of Worlds continues to evolve through community feedback and updates. Let's take a closer look at our next review. Reviewers are of the opinion that Aura of Worlds, a roguelite title from developer Cognitive Forge, has significantly improved since its early access release. The game features a challenging platforming experience with distinct environments like Grotto of Guidance and Celestial Temple, demanding creative tactics from players. While the narrative has been enhanced, it still lacks depth, relying on basic contextual introductions. Players can expect intense gameplay with numerous traps and formidable bosses, leading to frequent deaths. Although some improvements have been made in graphics and HUD options, audio remains minimal and repetitive. The inclusion of an easy mode offers a gentler introduction to the game's mechanics, but the relentless gameplay remains at the forefront, with a ticking timer and potential hazards lurking around every corner. Overall, it provides a tough but engaging experience for those seeking a hardcore gaming challenge.